This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hey everyone, it's Joe. I'm with Lauri here.
Hi.
I'm doing this in the beginning of the show. Lauri and I, you probably might be going like, oh my God, they analyzed a reunion for an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
You see the time and you're like, yes, we get a breakdown. No, that's not what happens.
We actually, about an hour of it is us just talking about other things.
Yeah, we talk about so many other things, and I stutter vamp through.
There's a part where my microphone. I should probably release a video, Lauri.
Yeah.
Of me, my microphone completely falling apart, and me trying to deal with it, and Lauri is vamping the entire time, watching me like fumble with the microphone.
But I can't say words well, so I'm just like, wait, this is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, no, just I would say be prepared. We have big thoughts in the beginning and then some thoughts at the end, but the rest is not anything related to Boulets Brothers.
We just don't want to waste your time. So if this is not interesting to you, then we only talk about it for 10 minutes, probably skip this episode. But if you just love hearing Lauri and me shoot the shit, you're going to love this episode.
Yeah, I tell Joe that I would turn him in. So if he committed a crime.
That's true. Lauri does admit at one point that she would turn me in for a crime to the police.
Even if he didn't do it.
I saw her. This is on video. Maybe I should release it. She wrote ice on the wall behind her. I don't know if she wanted ice or she was making a threat. All right, we'll start the show.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hello Uglies, the Dragula recap show for Titan Season 2, Episode 9, titled Reunion. My name's Joe Batans, and I am joined, as always, by the goddess of glitz, glamour, goth, gossip, and gore herself. She's the one, she's the only, she's the bandanaed Miss Lorian K. Rockenkamp. Hello, Lorian.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm warm. Nice and warm and toasty.
For about, Lori and I just recorded probably one of the longer just between us ghouls we've ever done.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. And Lori talked for about maybe 1 or 2 minutes about her situation in her house with a heater. And then I talked for about 48 minutes about the trouble with twinks is what we should call the episode.
Yes. I do actually have a story if you want me to share it
Yeah, let's do it here.
Okay. So it's very embarrassing.
Sure.
So I was at a training at Cal State LA yesterday. Very fun training. And it was my last day. It was a 4-day training that they sparsed out since October. So and the teachers that are there are great. And I really, it was a lot of fun. There's a bathroom. So down the hallway, we're in a conference room in the new dorm area of Cal State LA. Down the hallway are 2 boy-girl stalls, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're 2 and they're like 4 stalls each, right? And you men and women also use those stalls. So there's two different ones. So I always would go to the one that was the furthest, which is just like literally a couple steps away from the first one. But it's because nobody went in there. So I had it, I could just be by myself.
Yeah.
And I would go into the bigger one, which is usually, the handicap one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd go to the bathroom because I could put my backpack up and I have all, my stuff and it's just hard to move around in a smaller
you have a place to put down your like hot pot.
Yes.
And
I can set up my, my Easy Bake and I can, my Instapot and my air fryer.
Your Ninja air fryer.
Yeah. I can get the Tostino's pizza rolls going and, it's just a good time. So, but when we ended, right, I was so like, I wanted to like get out of there because I wanted to go home that I just like, I rushed to the restroom and I went to the first one and I go into the big stall and I'm going to the bathroom. Well, there's a woman there who was super nice. She's amazing. And I believe she has like a hip issue. I don't know 100% if that's the case, but I believe that's the case. And she has a motorized wheelchair, motorized scooter that she uses.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear it open, and I hear her coming in with a motorized scooter, and she goes to the big stall.
Oh my God, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
Tries to open it, and immediately I go, Lauri, you're a bitch. You are a horrible person. You're a bitch. And I go to start like going like, I'm getting ready. I'm going to go. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
But it's too late. She's already gone into the smaller stall.
Oh, no.
And I hear her start to try, and I'm like, oh shit. So like, I didn't even remedy it in time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the bath, I'm trying to finish up, and I hear, I start getting out of the stall, and I hear her flush the toilet. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to be here when she gets out. So I don't wash my hands. I leave, and I go to the next one, which is the one I should have gone to, because I've always gone on that one. And I just wash my hands, and I stay there for 10 minutes, waiting, hoping to God she leaves, and I don't have to run into her. And but what I thought was hilarious was that like I solely did this so I could hurry up and leave. I ended up fucking myself over.
That is my nightmare. It
was the worst.
I don't go to the Alamo Draft House anymore because it's kind of gone downhill. But when I used to go to the Alamo Draft House in downtown, you could reserve the handicapped seat or the companion seat.
Okay.
Right? Which they weren't wide or anything, but they were more isolated. In other words, they weren't next to people.
Okay.
And they tell you when you buy the ticket, you're welcome to buy this ticket, but if a handicapped person shows up, we reserve the right to move you or give you a refund for the ticket if there's no other seat.
Yeah.
And it was always my nightmare that this would happen when I sat there. I will say, though, Alamo Draft House in downtown is in one of the most inconvenient places for a disabled person.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I knew the likelihood of that happening was probably slim to none. And then it never happened to me. But what you describe is my biggest nightmare, to be the douche that's in the handicap spot.
Yeah.
And so, I think I would have done the same thing as you.
You know what I also just realized?
What?
I sent you the text message I meant to send to Star for my DoorDash order.
Oh, okay. Because you sent it to me, and I thought you were giving me the evidence you were going to use in some stories. I'm like, oh,
no,
this is clearly going to play a part in the story she's telling me. So she's sending me this in advance. So, but what's funny?
Star was like, send me your Sonora Town order, and I go, okay, and then I just sent it to you, and I was like, ugh, why did I do that?
So I'm going to, I don't know if I should spoil this now. The tea is coming back in early January. Mm-hmm. Me, you, and Jay. And in my brain, I wanted to save, and we are still going to save this story. So to give a teaser, but I want to give you a funny update that might not make it to the show in January. But, and let's not discuss the merits here. I just want to tell you something funny.
Okay.
We were originally going to go for the Afterthought Christmas party to this restaurant that we went to in the summer for my birthday that most of us really enjoyed, called Salazar, right?
Yeah.
It's a Mexican outdoor restaurant. And for people, go back and listen to the last episode of the Tea with me and Jay and Laura. We discussed this. But there was a stray cat that is welcome to roam around the restaurant, and Lauri is allergic to cats, and Lauri doesn't like it, and so she didn't want to go back there. Correct, Lauri? We'll just say that for now.
Yes.
Okay. So whatever, and there's a bunch of stuff that we'll discuss on the tea, and we'll probably end up discussing the actual dinner itself too. So that's why this story might not make it. But I've been hard at work trying to find a new location. I have found one.
Okay.
But when we were looking in the meanwhile, there was this Infatuation LA, which is like an Instagram account that like suggests restaurants and stuff like that. That they had an article that was like the best places, because Lauri was adamant she would not attend a Christmas party if there was a restaurant like Salazar that had a cat,
Yeah.
because she's allergic to cats. So we want Lauri to be there. She's the star of Afterthought. How can you not have the biggest star at the Christmas party?
BT Dubs, I was just like, I don't know. I'm not going to go. It's fine. Have fun.
Lauri, we'll get into this on the tea.
When you guys went to Magic Castle and I said I didn't want to go, you weren't like, oh, well, let me find a different magic club for you to go. You know, it's just like, I'm not going to go.
You've answered the question. There's not another magic club, but there are other restaurants in LA. Okay. So Infatuation LA comes out with this article that's the best restaurants to have a Christmas, to host your office Christmas party in LA. Mm-hmm. I was like, what a godsend. I've been looking for a new restaurant, right? And so all of them are like, no, too fancy. No, that's not the vibe. Nope. And then there's this one, Lauri. It's perfect.
Great.
It's literally the most perfect place. It's in the Arts District. It's like an outdoor venue, but it's really a brewery. But they don't serve food themselves. But because they don't serve food, they have a food vendor pop up every day that they're open.
Oh, cool.
Right? And you can also bring your own food. And I was like, oh my God. And everyone's like, the vibes are great here. And I talked to there was someone I talked to before, Robert. I can't remember who it was. And they're like, oh, I've been there. It's a great vibe. It's a great place. I'm like, this is perfect. Problem solved. You could reserve a fire pit.
Ooh.
You know? Yeah, it was really nice. And so then I'm talking to Robert the other day. Might have been yesterday. And I tell him, he goes, I don't know this place. Let me look it up. It sounds cool. And then he goes, oh yeah. He goes, I've walked by this place in the Arts District. Yeah, it does have, I've never been there. He goes, but it has a cool vibe. And then he starts laughing hysterically.
What?
Right?
What?
And I go, what's so funny? He goes, I'm just going to send you the screenshot. Lauri, in the screenshot on the Google thing, let me pull it up from Robert's text message. In the screenshot from it says, they have 2 cats free roaming who are super cute and soft, which makes this place a little more interesting. And I was like, well, there you go.
What is with these people and allowing stray cats into the... This is what I love, is that, we were in the Arts District going to a restaurant, or going to a German restaurant, and they about stomped to death this homeless man who was sitting outside their establishment. And,
that's a good point.
Yeah, and yet they will allow two rancid, probably flea-infested cats walk around their, it's just like, what the hell? I would rather that. I'd rather they have roaming homeless people just roaming around. I would be fine with that.
Rather than homeless cats.
Homeless cat, yeah. What's with what? Why? Why are we so patient with stupid cats? Ugh.
Anyway, well, imagine now an hour of that. That's over at patreon.com/afterthought. Media join at the executive tier level and above. And you can get that. But today we are talking about... So many
people are like, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear more about this.
Yeah, we did 12 minutes. We still haven't even... I don't even think we've mentioned Dragula.
No.
So they had a reunion. And, I even told the producer this week to take the week off. So I don't even have a script. I don't have anything, right?
Yeah.
But I predicted this and I was right. Is that Dragula reunions are typically disappointing. Okay. And actually, I would say this was one of the better, if not best, reunions they've had. And it was still rehashing shit we've talked about over and over and over and over again on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let's, I'm not going to do a rehash of what happens. They talk about the same topics and we'll talk about them here, the ones that are important. But Lauri, were there any big takeaways from this that you had or anything like that in general? We'll talk about each moment you want to talk about, but any big takeaways?
I mean, it was just kind of boring. I felt like, Star brought this up, which I didn't notice, but she said that Abora's nose changed a couple times.
Oh, it did? I just thought it was like a hand or something.
Yeah, she said that at one point she didn't have a hand, and then another point she did.
Oh.
But I didn't notice that. But yeah, I mean, it was just everybody being the same that they've been on the show. There was nothing new. I would say
no one changed positions.
The only new thing that we got was that the tea about Dollya and Loris, which we'll get into, but that was sort of a dud because that didn't go in. And then Dollya leaves, and I was just like, I mean, I know they can't force somebody to stay, but I wish they would have been like, look, if you leave, we're not paying you, or something to keep her to stay, because it just was. Then it got really boring afterwards.
Yeah.
So and then Eva was being Eva, and it was just
Thank God she's not here. There's no one here. I've stopped the charity auctions, but
Thank God.
It was funny. It was funny to me that she was so our impression of her.
Yes.
It was sort of meta.
Yes.
It was like, it was crazy that she was the impression of Eve. Like, we'll hear it because I pulled the audio when they come for Dollya. And in it, she there's a story in the Bible. Okay,
that took a turn.
It did take a turn, but I feel like Dragula, strangely, you would mention the Bible.
Yeah,
but there's a story in the Bible where Jesus tells Peter that before the rooster crows 3 times, that before the rooster crows, Peter will deny him 3 times. Right. What? And so after, Jesus is on the cross or whatever, Peter's going through town and everyone's like, don't you know Jesus? Don't you know that Jesus guy? And he's like, no, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. He does it 3 times and then a rooster crows. Okay. That's fucking Eva.
Yeah.
That is Eva. She is not a ride or die friend at all. I don't even know. I'll say Priscilla's a ride or die. I don't know if anybody on that show is ride or die, but she is the least ride or die person. It's like, there was one time, this show, I don't know why I retain a relationship with my cousin. There was one time when this is years and years ago, my cousin and I were waiting for an Uber outside of his house.
Okay.
He lives in East LA. And a car pulled up, slowed down in front of the house. And we walked up to it. There was I'm not being funny now. I'm like a legitimate gang member in the car, with a gun in his hand. And he said, "Hey, fool, where you from?" to me. And 2 things happened. One, I didn't know how I'd ever act in that situation. I froze and just mumbled some nonsense. Like, I'm from Orange County or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And my cousin, in 1 second, took off and ran and jumped over a fence and ran away. Right? My cousin is Eva Destruction.
Yes.
He didn't pull me with him. He literally just ran away.
I feel like in a way I'm Eva Destruction, because there was one time when I was walking into we used to have this house we grew up in. We used to have these giant, they weren't Christmas trees, but they were like giant bushy green trees. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times possums would live in them. And you would just see possums, baby pot hanging upside down from the tree. And I hated them. And I hated the possums and I hated the tree. And so I was walking and all of a sudden I just see possums dropping from the tree and crawling over to us. So I'm like, oh, fuck, they're coming over to kill us. So I run inside, slam the door shut, lock it. And my mom and my brother are like, Lori, open the door. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Oh
my God.
My mom got the key. She had a key and she opened the door and she tried to push it open. And I, with my whole body weight, was shoving it close. Yeah.
Lori, what are these stories you're admitting today?
I was I was 11 at the time.
Oh, okay.
But I was so nervous that I was going to get eaten by a possum that I was like, I will watch you 2 die. I do not care. I'm keeping this door closed. So eventually I was able to, they were able to get the door open, but they had to my mom had to push against it, use all her body weight to get me to get the door open.
There's a famous foreign film that they tried to make an American version that bombed I think it's called Force Majeure, about a guy and his family, and there's an avalanche at the ski resort.
That's Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Yeah.
How's the movie? I've never seen the American version.
I never watched it.
The foreign one's very famous.
I didn't watch it because, for that simple reason, it felt like a skit that was turned into a movie. It felt like a guy leaves his family, runs away when he sees an avalanche, And then the wife has to sort of deal with the fact that that her husband and the father of her children just abandoned them, and he has to too. And so it just, I just like, I don't know. This doesn't seem like a fun, movie. I think my aunt watched it and she said it was boring, but
yeah. Okay, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we are going to talk about we're going to do a deep dive in this reunion. There really wasn't much to it, but we'll play a little bit of the audio from the discussion with with Dollya. But before we do that, I'm going to play the outro to the break. And when we come back from the break, I'm going to discuss this outro. Listen carefully, everybody. And I have I'm going to sound crazy, cuckoo conspiracy theory, but back right after this.
DSW, Designer Shoe Warehouse, is the one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between, for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW has what you need, but more importantly, they have what you didn't even know you wanted. You never know what you'll find at DSW. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
It's that time of year again, when you start arranging pumpkins on the stoop. Try out a new cranberry sauce recipe and plan out a tablescape that'll outdo last year's. In other words, it's when you break out all your DIY holiday skills. And now, ADT is making it easy to DIY your home security too. Their systems aren't just simple to set up, they also fit within your budget. So get excited for your next project, because your peace of mind just went DIY. Visit ADT.com or call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. When every second counts, count on ADT.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
And we are back. Now, if you listened to that first, the music that goes out to the break, Lauri, I'm going to tell you something. I was very surprised when I was watching the reunion, and I can't remember if it was when they were going into a break or back from a break. They played that song. Did you hear it, Lark? I told you about it before you watched it.
I didn't hear it, but I mean, you know me. I'm not a good attention to details person. So.
Let me play. Well, it wasn't very obvious, but this is the song. And I want to preface this with, I know I'm going to sound crazy, but I want you to hear me out.
Okay. All right.
We are the only podcast that is not the Boulets brothers about Dragula.
Yeah.
Okay. We're the only podcast, and we've been there since almost the beginning, since season 2. Okay. We've been a podcast about Dragula. So I know deep in my heart that the Boulets brothers, for sure, but also members of their staff have listened to the show. Whether they continue to listen, maybe they only heard one episode, they've heard the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that this is a secret message to us. I don't think the Boulets brothers have anything to do with this. This is what I think. I use a service called Epidemic Sound. It's probably the biggest service that's used by digital content creators. I will say there are more expensive services that are used by like RuPaul's Drag Race and TV shows and stuff. But for like TikTokers and YouTubers and social media creators, we use pretty much for the most part Epidemic Sound.
Okay.
And that bit you heard is from Epidemic Sound.
Okay.
What I'm arguing is, here's the other thing too I will say. People don't know this. They have all kinds of music on Epidemic Sound, but I will say, and I don't know the reason for this, the biggest catalog of music they have is for like creepy, scary music. There's just so many creepy, scary songs. Yeah, so many. Yeah, so many. You have so many choices when it comes to that. And what I'm arguing is that, first of all, not the Boulets brothers, but that an editor, an assistant editor, and I'm not even saying went to go look for it. I'm saying when they were scrolling through the Epidemic sound songs or sound files, they heard that and they were like, oh, that's kind of funny. That's the one that they use for the outro on Hello Uglies. We'll throw it in.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's a secret message to us. But I really do believe that. Thank you.
Well, I also could say that I was trying to look it up, but I can't find it. But I remember I had to do a project for, I want to say PE or something. And we had to do like a motivational poster. Mm-hmm. And so I did a motivational poster where I said team, and then I broke team down into different words. And I forgot what it was, but it was like essentially like together, blah, 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 blah. You know, like it was supposed to be like an inspiring thing. Mm-hmm. So I did it and I turned it in, and my mom was like, "Oh, this is great, Lauri. You did such a great job." You know, and I was like, "Thank you." And then the PE to this day, I still am like a big fuck you to this PE teacher and to my mom in a certain way. Sure. But this PE teacher was like, Lauri copied what it was. Oh my God. And I was like, and my mom got so mad. She's like, Lauri, how could you do this? And I go, I didn't copy anything. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah. So there's a science teacher that had a poster on one of the doors that had a similar thing. I didn't use the same words, but it had a similar thing where it was like team, and then it had this, and my mom goes, "You don't remember that?" I go, "I swear to God, I don't remember seeing that poster. Like and swear to God, swear on my grandma's grave, I don't remember it." But what must have happened was I must have seen it, and it was in my brain, and then So I'm not saying that I didn't copy, but but then also it's like, what the, like everybody like, what the fuck are you talking about? I copy. Like they were acting like I cheated, and I was just like, for the love of Christ, it's a motivational poster, you stupid idiots. Like, well, that was the thing with Robin Williams. Yeah. Robin Williams was a known quote unquote joke stealer, but people who knew him said he wasn't that he was a joke stealer, but he would watch a lot of comedy, obviously. And he might hear a joke, and then when he did that like fast improvisational style of stand up. So when he's in the moment, that idea that he heard just popped into his head, and he just was going so fast, he just said it. There was a comedian who he was on a sitcom with Chris D'Elia. I don't remember his name, but he's very annoying. And his big thing he would literally go up to you. Every comedian, he would do this. And I remember I went to a stand-up show with Aristotle, and Aristotle went up and did some stand-up, and he went up to Aristotle and was like, "Hey, you did a joke about your mom. I just want to let you know that Louis C.K. has a joke about his mom, so you might not want to copy that." And it's like, what? We can't talk about moms for some reason? Like, it was so, and then he would go up to like me and be like, "Hey, you do a joke about overeating. I do a joke about overeating. So if you could not do that joke, I'd appreciate it." What happened to that comic? Remember, what was his name? Whatever happened to him? Remember? And then he was on a couple of episodes of 30 Rock. He was really, he always did Barney's Beanery. He was really he had glasses, definitely like in some other universe, right? Oh yeah. He was a big UCB guy. Oh, was he? Was he the one who played the lawyer that or her agent that mostly dealt with dogs? Yes, I think you're right. And he would go up on stage, and I always remember, I think it was at Barney's, and you were sitting down on a couch, and he sat right next to you. You were just minding your own business. And I was on stage. I think I was about to bring him up, or he was going to come up in a couple of comedians or something like that. And he sat next to you, and he heard me doing like the filler in between, like the interstitial stuff. And he turned to you and he goes, "I don't like that guy. I think he's one of those guys that likes to aggravate the audience."
Or something like that. You told me afterwards. He was trying to make a conversation. You were not having it.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. But yeah, no, I mean, but that was the thing.
I don't remember his name.
The funniest thing was that
Eric Charles Nielsen.
Oh, no. So that was a different guy. I was thinking of a different. Oh yeah, that guy. Didn't he get in trouble or something?
Oh, he did? Because I haven't heard from him.
Didn't he get like canceled or something?
Oh, he might be.
I could be thinking of somebody else, so I don't want to say that. Put that on him.
What does he do? Let me see. I remember he was on 30 Rock.
He had a bit part for, I forgot what it was.
Oh, he was on Community.
He was on Community. I remember that.
Everything else, I don't know what this stuff is. I haven't heard from him in a while. Maybe he was canceled.
I don't want to put that on him because I don't want, that to
we
be
don't
like,
know.
We don't know.
Eric Charles Nielsen, yeah.
But I mean, comedians.
I'm not entirely sure he knew why he was funny.
I don't think so either. Comedians are probably one of the more sensitive groups. But see, that's why it was, and it still is hard for me to hang out, because you get to a point, I feel like, and I'm not saying, look, I recognize I'm very annoying to certain people, and I'm very annoying to people who like me. So, I know who I am, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm a lot to deal with. But when you're in a social situation, I feel like you got to try, at least in some capacity, tamp down your annoyingness to some extent. Mm-hmm. And comedians, I feel like for the most part, are just like, no, I'm going to ramp it up to 100 in every situation.
Yeah, 100%.
And so it was just like when people would hang out at Martini Blues, I'd just be like, I don't want to talk to you anymore about your stupid shit. Like, I don't care to know anything about, I want to do my set and go home. That's what I want to do. So it's still to this day hard for me to like go to a show, because it's like the main thing comedians love is just the hanging out before and afterwards. And I do not care about that. So,
I did like that part, actually. What's funny, I'm the opposite of you. I don't miss the stand-up. I miss that part.
Oh, see, I miss the stand-up. That's all I miss. I don't miss. I mean, it's nice seeing people, but like literally, my version of like, oh, it's fun to see somebody is be like, hey, man, good to see you. How are you? Oh, good. How are you? Great. Okay, that's it. That's all I need. I don't need any more conversation. So
I love how we still have. It's Lauri. We're 30 minutes into this show, and we have not talked about the show.
Well, I will tell you this. Eva would be the type of comedian that would go up to people and be like, hey, just so you know,
she would be 100%.
I distinctly remember somebody, and this is an Eva move. I distinctly remember somebody coming up to me once. I used to have this joke where I talked about how I was terrible at leaving voicemails. And so I actually repeated a version of a voicemail left for somebody where I was trying to get a job, and I left this guy a voicemail, and it was like horrible. And this was before you could edit voicemails. Mm-hmm. So I just had to leave it, and I never heard from the person again. And I was like, good, I'm glad, because I don't want to have a conversation with this person. And so it was horrible. And this guy comes up to me after and goes, hey, just so you know, in the movie Swingers, there's a similar joke where somebody leaves a bad voicemail. So people are going to think you stole from that movie. And I was like,
did you call back multiple times?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, I've never seen that fucking movie. Like, who gives a shit about the movie Swingers? Except for maybe Jon Favreau and what's his face. Yeah.
But here's the thing. And I remember, actually, strangely, hack comedy teacher Judy Carter talked about this. But I think this is a wise piece of advice, where she was saying, like, essentially that the topic is never hack. It's the hacky. It's the joke, And so she was like, yeah, now look, airports might be very overplayed, but it's not your experience of going to the airport. Does that make sense? And so, like, a lot of the things we're talking about, they've been discussed to death. Honestly, it's not even, I bet you Louis C.K. didn't invent it. I bet you Swingers didn't invent it. You could go back and find somebody who did it, And it's just, we've all talked about this to death, but what is your take on the topic? And that's what makes it fresh. If your take is hacky, then it's hacky. But if you have a fresh take on a topic, if you have one that's clearly your perspective from your point of view, then it's not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's a joke out there, that's about, if you blow your joke up about a parent misunderstanding the point the daughter is trying to make about something. Yeah, we've all talked about that. But yours is about the president of the United States, that she thinks that you want it, that one day you might be president of the United States.
Yeah, that was a slam. That she was going to be like, you won't be president. And I was going to be like, what? That was my dream.
Yeah.
And so, but I also think it's funny that, in a way, the reason why I thought that was funny and then why I became that was because it was like, oh, that's what you had in store for me? That, like, I was never going to meet that bar. I was like, it was almost like in a moment kind of freeing, because I was just like, oh, that's why you're always so mad at me, because you thought I was going to be president. And I'm like, I want to tell jokes. So, it's like we have totally different life views of where we wanted my life to go. And I was like, okay, now I get my mom a little bit. Now I get why she's so ornery, she keeps thinking, when is she going to realize she wants to be president? It's like, okay.
I noticed, I don't know if this is a generational thing or if this is just an older person thing. I don't have it. I'm an older person now. But or maybe this is a thing with the kind of people we are. But I don't understand this whole what will people think kind of. That's kind of what's rooted in you. If what if you want to be president? It's like, what will the neighbors say? What will people think? Yeah. Right? And I'm like, who gives a fuck?
It is. I think it is a very generational thing because, I distinctly remember my grandma saying that, so there were certain friends of her, married friends of hers, that wouldn't talk to her after she got divorced because she was a divorcee, And it's just like, could you imagine being such a shitty person that somebody's going through a divorce and you're like, I can't be friends with you anymore.
You're right. Or that has to happen. Yeah, that used to happen with my parents. Would talk about how, my mom. Well, my dad actually went to Catholic school, but my mom didn't go to Catholic school, and there were kids on her block that the parents wouldn't let them play with her because she went to public school. Yeah. Yeah,
I had friends who couldn't come over to our house because my parents let us watch The Simpsons, and they thought that the kids would be influenced by The Simpsons. Yeah. Because it was like the devil's. And also what I find interesting is like sometimes I think that we don't live in such a hateful world anymore. And then I'm reminded like, oh no, it's still very hateful. Like, do you know who David Portnoy is?
Is that the guy from Barstool Sports?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's kind of I believe.
Explain what Barstool Sports is first.
Well, I don't know what it is, but essentially it's like a pod. He does podcasts. He does, a bunch of different stuff. I think it
started with him rating pizzas or something,
Well,
right?
that's what he does. He still does that. He goes to like a pizza place and he'll rate it. Like he'll literally walk out the door eating it and he'll be like, this is what I think about it. But he's also like he's an asshole, but he also, and I could be misconstruing things, but I believe I've seen in the past, he would, when the whole, we're going to get into muddy territory, but when the whole argument about Palestine came down, he was very much just like anybody who supports Palestine is anti-Semitic, basically. And so he, and he would have these arguments with people and they would say stuff and then he'd go, oh, you're anti-Semitic. So it was always just like, okay, buddy, and so there was a TMZ article where it said like, oh, David Portnoy deals with somebody yelling anti-Semitic things at him. And I opened the article and it had the video. And I opened the article thinking, oh, they're just going to be like, they said free Palestine or something. Yeah. No, it was legitimately, it was like a college town. He was he was rating a pizza, rating pizza. So he was on film. Yeah. And he was walking down the street and this friggin' 20-year-old starts throwing coins at him and yelling and saying these horrible anti-Semitic slurs at him, and then leaves. And the kid, literally, they figured out it was because it was a college town. They figured out who he was. They expelled him from school, and it was just like, why? Why would you do that?
Oh yeah. Well, by the way, ironic twist: Dave picked up all the coins, which was even more embarrassing.
No,
but
well, yeah, he wanted to buy more pizza.
Wait, look, he wasn't going to waste some good coins.
But but like, it was just one of those things. I was like, oh, I still am ignorant as to the level of hate that people have. You know, it's just like, can you imagine being that much of an asshole that you just see you see a guy walking down the street, you're like, I'm gonna fuck him up.
It's funny that you say that. You've been bringing up things that have happened to me while we've been talking on the air. So earlier today, I saw this TikTok that I'll send you the downloaded video. I think you will like this, actually. This seems very Lauri coded, to be honest with you. And there's a title on the TikTok, right? And it says, I drove 3 hours or something like that, right? And it's this black woman, and she has the camera on herself. Okay? So it's facing her. You don't see it.
Okay.
Oh, I think this is the right building. I think this is his car. All right. Let's see how this goes.
Sorry.
Hello?
Hello. I'm looking for a mic. Does a mic work here?
Yeah.
Can I speak to him?
Sure. What's this about?
Are you Mike?
Yeah.
Can I step inside? It's cold.
Sure.
Thank you. How you doing? Nice. So, a couple days ago, you left a comment under somebody's comment section.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that by any chance?
Not really.
It was regarding Tennessee, District 7. Yeah, well, John, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I was that person that you commented under.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Crazy world. But I just wanted you to know, you see how easy I found you? It's not cool, right?
No.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you the opportunity and apologize, or I'm going to show your wife the grounded account I found. How do you feel about that?
Not good.
Right. It's crazy world out here. So I did make this apology. In case, you don't have to. I understand it's hard, but all you have to do is read this nice little apology I wrote. Thank you. Go ahead.
Mike. Do apologize for my actions. And I see the consequences of my actions. And I will not do
Say it louder.
I will not do this to anyone else ever again.
Oh, good job, Mike. Thank you. I'll take that back from you. Yeah, I need that for other people. It was really nice meeting you. And
Okay. So the backstory is she had written some political post or something like that. And he went on the comment section and called her the N-word and that he was going to find her and kill her.
Oh, my God.
So she found his Grindr account and where he is and found him. And that's what you just heard.
And he's going to tell his wife.
Well, she said, if you don't read this apology.
Oh, my God. Jeez.
I can't tell if you're horrified or if that's a dream of yours to do.
I mean, how brave of that woman. And I will say this. I legitimately, and again, this just shows my ignorance. At first, I was like, what do you say? Like, I don't like her. She sounds fat or something, It's just like, leave it alone. But yeah, no, fuck that guy for saying something so awful.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's again, like, what is with people in this level?
I don't know.
See, like, okay. I feel like I'm part of the problem too, because, but I never would say like somebody, I never call anyone names, or like, make fun of their race or their weight or their, religion or anything. That's just like, I would just be like, you're an awful person, and I hope you die in a fire. Which I feel like is, somewhat better. But I feel like I was part of, and that's why like I had to take a step back, because I was just like, I just can't, and it's like, why can't these people just recognize that, like, this is not, it's not like she's going to see that and go, oh, you're right, I should change my mind. It's like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen from that?
What I don't understand, I'll be honest with you, because there is a sort of base part of me that gets that I want to just unleash on somebody in their comment section or say something to someone in public. Like, I'll give you a good example. You and I talk about this quite frequently. There are these people called First Amendment auditors, and they've been showing up. Now everything I've been seeing is like in Orange County, in an area where I live, all this stuff, right? But they're called First Amendment auditors, and all they do is they're usually masked, and they show up and they just hold a camera at a Trader Joe's and just film people as they walk in.
Yeah.
And their whole goal is to get a person so crazy that they like chase after them or try and hit them or call the police on them, because then they get the content they need, right? And the best, so there's a weird part of me where I'm like, why are these asshole Karens buying into this, right?
Yes.
But then these guys are assholes too, you know? Like, yes, they have the First Amendment right to do it, but what they're doing is they're completely instigating these people, right?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, there's a part of me. Well, first of all, let me just tell everybody, if you're in public, people can film you. There's no, you don't have to consent to being filmed. I want everyone to know this who's listening. That's ultimately the lesson everybody learns who calls the police. Okay, I'm just telling you that. And but I forget everything. I would never go after them. I would never do anything because I know then you would be on the internet. You would be that person.
Yeah.
So you just ignore it.
But see, that's the thing is it's, you know, I think that there, you know, when I would deal with stuff like that, I would inherently be like, no, this person needs to know how shitty they are, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, you're not going to prove anything to them. It's like, you're telling them they're shitty. They don't feel that way. They're not going to take that in and be like, oh, you're right, I'm a shitty person for doing this. They're going to go, oh, great, I got you to react, you know? And so I think that's what, you know, honestly, and to segue into it, personally, I feel like that's why Dollya did what she did. Is she wanted people to react, and she said those things so people would react, and she could be, you know, sort of the victim in the scenario, because she's just an innocent person who's, you know, saying, hey, you know, Zavaletta's on K, said she was on K. Priscilla's been drinking. Loris was found unresponsive in the bathroom. You know, like all these things, and I'm just reporting this out of for their safety. They're the ones attacking me.
And I think to make an extension of what you're saying is there can be a situation, much like I talked about with the First Amendment auditors, and I think this is ultimately my point with Dollya, where they're by the letter of the law right, but they're just awful people.
Yeah.
You know? And then on the other side, you have the people who are like, in theory, wrong, but they're better people. Does that make sense? And I think that's what we have here. Because, and that's why I don't know why the show really plays into this. I don't know if we have time or energy to really go into the audio that I pulled, but what I will say is there is a part where Dollya apologizes to Loris for insinuating to production or accusing Loris of drinking. Loris is sober. And there was a situation where Dollya found, and I guess Eva was there, Loris floating in a bathtub.
Yeah, she said she was unresponsive in the bathtub. And the one side was accusing Dollya of like sort of like making it up. Not making it up, but like, you know, insinuating that Loris was drunk in the bathtub and or trying to commit suicide. And then Dollya's like, well, no, I didn't do that at all. I was just really concerned someone's floating in the bathtub. The part that's weird to me is then they show, and they even highlight a quote, but they show a screenshot. Well, what I thought was frustrating was Dollya says, I'm sorry for what happened with the only person I want to apologize to is Loris. And I'm sorry that should not have gone down the way it went down. But then while she's explaining, they don't you don't hear her audio. They cut to Jaharia asking Abora what happened. And Abora,
you're right.
excuse me. Abora tells her what happened. And so I still have no idea what the context of why did Dollya think that shouldn't have gone down the way it went down? Like, they didn't explain that. And so, once again, the Boulets brothers are editing in a way that just makes it even more confusing.
Well, yeah, and then they put this like screenshot of a text message exchange up on the screen, and it doesn't. They even highlight a part of it, and they act like this is proving their point. I'm going to read it. It says, Jasmine, 40 minutes, okay? And like Cynthia and Eva is my witness. It was 40 minutes and I finally opened the door. She's butt naked, floating in the tub, like completely passed the fuck out. And like I checked to see if she had headphones and stuff. No headphones. I start panicking. She's naked, so I feel really uncomfortable and covering my eyes. How does that prove that she accused her of...
They didn't say she was drunk. She didn't say she was drugged. She didn't say she was like trying to harm herself.
Yeah. And then and Dollya accurately points out that she was correct about Zavaleta using ketamine. She talks about how she said that Priscilla was drinking, right?
Yes.
And look, here's the thing. Is Priscilla's like, but I didn't drink a whole bottle of vodka.
Which, again, Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. No, you go.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, again, I think Priscilla is kind of telling on herself because in the beginning she goes, yeah, and you're saying I have a drinking problem. And I go, in no way at any point did Dollya ever say you had a drinking problem. She said you were drinking during rehearsal. So that was it. She never said you were, she thought you had a drinking problem. You're the one who keeps saying she thinks you have a drinking problem. I feel like maybe you think you have a drinking problem.
Yes. And so, like, look, here's and the point, which is wild, that even the Boulets are making this point, is that instead of going to production, Dollya should have kept it among them. So, look, here's the deal. I'm going to tell a story, a personal story.
Okay.
That's what this whole show is. But years and years and years ago, I lived with these two girls. And one of the girls at the time was one of my best friends, my confidant, my everything, right?
Uh-huh.
And we worked for the same company, and she was the accountant, and I was just, I worked in like research and development. Who cares, right?
Uh-huh.
And one day, I'm going to tell the story she told. I don't know the truth is. We also had another girl who was living with us temporarily, and she was going through a lot of drama, I'll just say, right?
Okay.
And we took her in. She worked with us, but she was going through a lot. Like kicked out of her house, all kinds of stuff, right?
Oh, wow.
You'll see where this is going. And according to my best friend, so then what happens is I'm living my best life. She'd come back from a trip. We had a nice time hanging out, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. With your friend or the girl with the drama?
My friend.
Okay.
My friend. We had a really nice time. The next day, I get a call at like 7 a.m. from my boss.
Okay.
And she's like, can you come into the office right now? And I go, am I in trouble? And she goes, yes. And I'm like, whoa, right? So I go in, and my boss sticks out a hand, and she holds her hand out, and there's a key in it. And she goes, do you know what this key is?
What?
And I go, no. And she says, this is the key to the petty cash safe. And I don't want to say this person's name. Your friend said that she found it on the ground in your bedroom. And she goes, a week ago, $4,000 went missing.
Oh, geez.
And I said, you can look at my bank accounts. I'll pull it up right now. Right? And I was cleared. Right?
Yeah.
And we think, it never got solved, but we think it was maybe the person that was staying with us.
Oh, the drama? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I was worried that your friend had done it and then tried to frame you for it.
No. What I'm getting at is I know what the cast is talking about in that it ruined our friendship. And it ruined our friendship because this was a person...
Wait, between you and the friend or you and the drama
me and the
girl?
friend. It really did. I had a lot of trouble with it after that because she had known someone had stolen the money from the safe because she was the accountant.
Yeah.
They had known this for like a week or something. And when she found this key, instead of, I felt like, look, did she technically do the right thing? Yes. But I would have thought, as my best friend at the time, that she would have said, hey, listen, I got to talk to you. I found this key on the floor in our bedroom. We shared a bedroom.
Okay.
And this is the key to the petty cash safe. And there was $4,000 that went missing. What can you, like talk to me first, right?
Yeah.
And she didn't. She showed up to work the next day and blindsided me. You know?
I gotta be honest with you. I probably would have done the same thing she did.
Really?
Because here's what I'm going to tell you. And this is just, actually, this has nothing to do with the money. This has nothing to do with me. Well, it does have something to do. It has nothing to do with me thinking, oh, maybe he's guilty, maybe he's not. There was a story of a woman gives her best friend, like, and I forgot I think it's like she was getting divorced or something, and she was trying to hide some money from her husband. So she gives her best friend like $40,000 to hold on to, like cash, right? The friend takes it and uses it, spends it, right?
Okay.
So then the woman who gave her friend the money goes up to her, goes to her and knows and suspects that she has spent it because she's been hearing from people, oh, this, she bought this, and this. Goes to her house and says, hey, did you spend my money? The woman kills her and buries her in the back.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm imagining me killing my friend. Uh-huh.
So what I would say is I would not, if we lived together, I would not confront you in our house because I would be worried that you might, let's say you did take it or you didn't take it, you could get mad and be like, and try and assault me or kill me. Because I got to be honest with you, I don't, just based off of the amount of crime shows I watch, I don't feel like anybody is incapable of murder. I feel like it just depends on what the motive is. And so, so I would have done the same thing. I would have gone directly. Now, here's what I would have also done. I would have also stayed with my parents if I had told, I wouldn't have just shown up back at the house. So I feel like she didn't do it fully 100% right, but
But the point I was making is she technically did the right thing, which is sort of supporting what you said.
Yeah.
She took the right steps, followed the letter of the law, went to her boss, which we both had the same boss, and showed her the key and told her what happened. But I just sort of felt like, I don't know, I just sort of feel like I'm...
Now, I think...
maybe I would have found a different way so I wouldn't get murdered, but...
Maybe I would go about it in a kind of different way, which I would maybe have told, I would have told you in a way that where we weren't together, but I was just like, hey...
Oh, like on the phone?
I don't know if you did this or not, but I just want to let you know money was taken out of the account. I found a key in your room. I'm going to tell the boss, but I just want you to know what happened. I don't know if you did it or not, but I just want to let you know. And then I wouldn't have gone back to live there because I just would feel like, it might be.
And just to give you a sense of this is probably what happened, how the key probably landed up in the bedroom, is I shared a room with this girl. Okay. And she was on vacation for 2 weeks, the accountant, the friend. And so the girl that we had let stay there was staying in the room with me. That makes sense?
Got it. Okay.
So that's probably how the key landed up there. Yeah. Anyway, so...
Yeah. And if I'm in her shoes, I'm like, either you or the other girl took it. So I don't want to be involved with either of them. Yeah. But that's, I go totally from a pure, I tell my high school students, I say, never, ever break up with anybody in person. Do it over the phone.
Lauri.
Never break up with anybody in person. I go, send a text message. Yeah, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen articles of, a girl breaks up with her boyfriend in a car and the boyfriend chokes the girl to death.
Well, it's funny that you say that. This is not funny at all. This is the opposite of funny. But, and if a family member hears this, I'm sorry. This just relates. But a cousin of mine, actually a child of a cousin of mine, but still my cousin, he's in his early 20s now, right? And the parents are no longer together. So he was with his mom and his stepdad and his step siblings at a Korean barbecue restaurant in La Mirada.
Uh-huh.
And they're sitting there. And by the way, trigger warning for violence and death. Just a trigger warning.
I think you told me about that. Yeah, you told me this story.
Yeah. You know what? I won't get super into detail. Basically, they were there when, a crime of passion happened, and he saw it happen, and he's been fucked up about it.
Yeah,
it makes sense. He saw something very violent. Yeah. And so I guess in that respect, you're right.
But, I mean, but also, here's what I'm going to say. I feel like my attitude and Eva's attitude are almost similar in that, she's like, I got to protect myself. But the way she's going about it is she just is like, literally, it's like Dollya is, did you ever see that? I think it was like what was that movie with, so was it Sylvester Stallone, or where it was like they were on a cliff? Was it Cliffhanger or something? Where they were like
the one where they're hanging on the cliff? Yeah, that's Cliffhanger.
Yeah. And he has to like let go of I think the girl's hand or something, or cut the rope so that they both don't die. Mm-hmm. I think Eva in this, with any slight, change, would immediately just take a knife and cut the rope. Like, it wouldn't even be like it was life threatening. It would just be like, I feel like I might die, so I'm going to cut the rope. It could be 2 feet off the ground. And I imagine Eva would just cut the rope to save herself. So
100%. 100%.
So I feel like, Eva's just like, she does not give a shit. Which, to be honest with you, I wish I had a little bit of that, where I was just like, no, I'm only focused on me. And I love how she tries to show that she's supporting Dollya while at the same time abandoning Dollya and saying that she has no part of it. It's like, you can't play both sides, you weirdo. So
my official position, so we can move on, is that I think ultimately where this comes from is that Dahlia's not a very nice person. I think she did things, and I think what people were really upset with her is sacrificing or putting friendships in jeopardy in prioritizing her placement in the competition over friendships and relationships. I don't think Dahlia's a good person. I think she's a very damaged person. But I also think the way that they're coming, they don't know, you can't back up your dislike for someone with feelings. So they drum up all these fake facts that just don't make any sense.
Yes.
And I think ultimately is they just don't like Dollya. She's not a good person.
I also just think on top, I don't want to say necessarily that she's not a good person. I feel like that she's just a very controlling and particular person. So she wants everybody to act a certain way around her at all times. And if they don't, then she needs to call it out so that that way they change. And the problem is that people won't change just because you want them to, And so I think this reality show, and I'm glad she said she's not going to do reality TV anymore, because I think she realizes that like she can't force everybody to act the way she wants them to act, and I'm sure she is a good drag queen. It's
amazing. Same thing with Eva. Eva's an amazing drag queen. Yeah.
I think that they just have a very particular way that they want to live their lives, and that does not translate when you put with people, if you're outside your bubble. So maybe she does well in her bubble. Maybe everybody acts the way she wants them to act in her bubble, but outside her bubble, no.
I think the world of drag performance is a very individual, solitary sort of art form. Now you're forcing people who usually are used to working by themselves to work together on a team, and that may not work for a lot of people. Again, good segue here to Sigourney versus Eva. I don't know if you have any more thought, and JK. I don't know if you have any more thoughts here, but that was the other sort of big explosive moment.
Yeah, again, I feel like Eva did it because she wanted to get rid of Sigourney, because Sigourney was, in her face about, we're friends, you shouldn't vote for. Like, I truly believe if Sigourney hadn't mentioned the friends thing, that she might have been safe. I think the fact that, because Eva doesn't want to be tied to anybody. So that's still my opinion. Where I get annoyed, and I get, it's the same thing with Cynthia and Blackberry, is that at the end of the day, this is a game. Okay. And you are going into this competition knowing that you want to be the winner. So therefore everybody else, even your friends, have to be the loser. And so there is no way on God's green earth, if you and I went into a competition and then you purposely voted me out, I would be like frustrated, but I wouldn't hold on to it. I wouldn't be because it's like, it's a competition. I swear to God, if Sigourney was in her shoe, in those shoes, she would have voted for Eva. I 100% think that would be the case.
I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. Problem is, if if that happened, she already had a personal beef with JK, so she probably would have taken JK out.
I still think it would have been.
Oh, really?
I know she said she would have voted JK, but I think it would have, because Eva's the biggest competition. Yeah. So if you had, well, let me rephrase. The smart move would have been to vote Eva out, because if you want to get rid of competition, I think Sigourney wanted to have her cake and eat it too. I think she was talking. Well, let me rephrase. I think she was talking out both sides of her mouth, because she was trying to say to everybody else, she's trying to say to Eva, don't you want good competition? Which, who cares how she said it? She meant it in the way that everyone knows she meant it in. She meant it like she's good competition, and not everyone else is. But then she also want to say, that doesn't mean I didn't mean that you guys weren't good competition, which is like, yes, you fucking did. Like, you can't say, don't you want good competition, and think that, isn't nobody's going to construe it. That's ridiculous. Even Loris was like, yeah, no, it definitely is. Like, it's for sure that way. And then with, so I think she was, yeah. So the whole Sigourney Eva thing, I think, is ridiculous, because again, I think at the end of the day, it's a competition. And then with the Blackberry Cynthia thing, it's the same thing. It's, sorry, let me go back to, I want to say something about Sigourney. Sigourney says in a testimonial or something, Eva was the reason I got eliminated from the competition. I didn't get myself eliminated. The Boulets brothers didn't eliminate me. It was Eva. And it's like, I mean, to an extent, yes, but it was also you. You just wouldn't shut up about your guys' friendship and how, you really tried to, levy your guys' relationship outside the show. And it's like, have you met Eva? Have you seen her interact with any other people that she's friends with? She does not give a shit about them. So yeah, no, I think that it was her and Eva were the reason why she got eliminated. And then as far as Cynthia and Blackberry go, again, I think it was Jaharia or JK brought up a good point. It's like, you didn't even get eliminated in that instance. You were just put in the bottom. And then, and Blackberry said, I told you, and Cynthia agrees, so we know it's true. I told you I was going to vote for you. And also, let's not forget the fact that JK and Jaharia both voted for her too. But for some reason, Blackberry's the one who gets all the hate. And Cynthia
and that does come up in the reunion.
Yeah, and Cynthia still, at the end, when they're like, because she even goes, I apologized. And Blackberry goes, I don't feel like you did. And Cynthia goes, well, I just can't wrap my head around why you voted for me. And it's like, bitch, it was a competition. She was forced to vote for somebody. Like, what part of that do you not understand? So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, to me, it was just like the only new thing was that Loris thing, and I feel like they barely touched on that, and then we moved on to just the same old, same old. I wish they would have had, like, other things. Like, there were a couple funny moments, like, what was it? Like, I forgot the circumstances of how it happened, but I feel like Priscilla was like, said to Eva, would you have voted for me? Or I think Sigourney had said to Eva, would you have voted for me or Sigourney had said to Priscilla said to Sigourney, would you have voted for me if I was there? And Desastrini goes, well, you're not a top contender, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny. It took a while for me to get there, but yeah. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, overall, I will say this, I don't know why I keep starting sentences that I can't finish. It did remind me of, this reunion reminded me of the old annoying JK. I felt like she was very annoying this episode.
Well, I think what you're saying is maybe the editors were able to craft a more positive image of her because they knew how far she went. But in the reunion, she had nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
So any other big thoughts on this? Any other big thoughts on this episode? Because we've already gone like an hour 10. All right.
I feel like I've shared everything.
All right, so then why don't we do this? Why don't we call it a day? That's going to do it for this week's episode of Hello Uglies. Be sure to join us next week when we actually discuss the season finale of Dragula Titans Season 2. So for Lauri and Kay Roggenkamp and myself.
So long, Uglies.
thanks for creeping it real with us here on Hello Uglies. Got a bone to pick or praise to raise from the dead? Email us at hellouglies@afterthought.media. Want your voice to haunt our next episode? Leave us a scream at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia. If you want to keep our crypt open and the blood flowing, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This episode was brewed and stitched together by Dennis Escalero. A monstrously huge thank you to our expensive tier ghouls over on Patreon. You keep our coffins company. Hello Uglies is an Afterthought Media production. Until next time, stay spooky, stay sickening, and remember, beauty is only skin deep, but ugly is to the bone.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.